Asking ChatGPT to give a story on the prophecies and predictions from Contact Report 251.
Hello, I will be asking ChatGPT the questions.
Hello, I am an artificial intelligence AI chatbot that uses natural language processing to create human-like conversational dialogue.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? I will therefore not name any date, although I know them, which is why I will simply list the most important events or occurrences, etc., of the future in chronological order, starting with the year 1995, in the course of which it will be shown that natural disasters will continue to cause calamity and will not come to an end. The events in this regard will move up and down, so sometimes there will be more and sometimes there will be less, but on the whole everything will increase. Unfortunately, there will also be no change for the better in terms of overpopulation, quite the opposite. Furthermore, in 2003, in March, a blow is to be expected from the United States and its presidency, which will strike the whole world in the head, just as Islamic fundamentalism will make much and more of itself, talking and casting a spell over the whole world. Insurrections, revolutions, wars, terrorism, and other unrest of all kinds will increase greatly, with Islamic fundamentalism, in particular, playing a very sad role. Also, the health of the human being is extremely endangered, because apart from the rapid spread of AIDS, also the consequences of the mad cow disease in humans will appear increasingly, whereby in this connection not only the Creutzfeldt-Jakob syndrome will be the only effect. Also, with the animals, the mad cow disease effects will increasingly occur. But all this will not be enough, because another terrible epidemic will break out in Asia, which will be transmitted by waterfowl and migratory birds, which are immune to the disease, through their feces to chickens. When the birds come into contact with chickens in search of food and excrete their excrement, which is then taken up by the poultry, thereby spreading the epidemic, and also to humans, mammals, and fish, etc. The disease is transmitted when they eat the feces or the meat of contaminated poultry or birds. A lung disease will also break out in humans through the guilt of China, where bioweapons are being researched, and through carelessness pathogens are released. The danger of the use of chemical weapons, which has been practiced for a long time and which is constantly renewed, will increase despite other efforts, as will nuclear and biological weapons. The risk of nuclear reactor accidents is also on the increase all around the world. For the next few years, France in particular should exercise all conceivable caution in this respect, for a prophecy warns against a GAU in Lyon, which can be prevented if those responsible take the right steps, because a prophecy can be changed. The first steps have already been taken for a new movement that will work for complete non-violence, while another group will be formed through which a woman will attain a great and powerful world power. While mass tourism takes on more and more powerful forms and slowly but surely destroys the last paradises of the earth, the first steps are taken for a Mars flight, which will not exactly be under a good star. However, during which only shortly afterwards more luck will be granted, even if problems of a technical nature will unexpectedly arise due to certain problems. All this will only happen shortly after the time when the worldwide plight of unemployment and all the evils associated with it will finally be resolved and mastered. But then there will also be a new increase in the arsenals of weapons, when the worldwide production of weapons will be boosted again. These are already again the first signs of an impending Third World War, which is announced by prophecy, if the Earth human does not make an effort to avert this danger by his or her reason and a correspondingly correct thinking and acting. But if humans do not act against the fulfillment of prophecy, then a new and very destructive new weapon will find its perfection, which will cause devastating consequences at the next World War. This can also happen because the surveillance of the Earth from space is criminally neglected. And again, new weapons will be talked about, as well as the death of 4 heads of state who will die within 7 days. This will be a last sign of danger of the fact that the world war that has been feared for so long will still break out within only about 2 years if the Earth humans do not finally become masters of reason and stop all evil. If this does not happen, the people will no longer benefit when they try to protest against the new lethal weapons in order to outlaw them, because the arsenals of weapons in many countries will then already be full of them. So it will no longer be of any use if laws are subsequently drawn up prohibiting the use of these weapons. If the human does not finally come to his or her senses, then the Third World War cannot be avoided, which will first start with conventional weapons, but then escalate into nuclear, chemical, biological, and radiation weapons. The World War will then begin in a certain year in the month of November, after about 5 years of work in intensive form, whereby this time will be preceded by another 4 years in indefinite preparatory form. If the war really breaks out, then it will last up to about 1 month shy of 4 years, so it will end in October of the 4th year, after the northern hemisphere of the Earth has been largely destroyed by nuclear fire and radioactive radiation, by which both the animal world and the entire plant world will be destroyed, if the human being does not see to it that prophecy only proves to be such and does not come true. But if this does not happen, then the 4 years of war will be followed by another bitter 11 years of need, misery, famine, and many other evils. The descendants will be crippled and mutated as a result of the radioactive radiation, and many of those who survive the war will be radioactively contaminated and burned, as will horrible and horrifying skin diseases caused by chemical weapons. This will also be the case with biological weapons, as they will cause ulcers and many other evils, and even evil human abortions and so on. Before all this happens, however, if prophecy is fulfilled through human guilt, the scientists find in the DNA chain the gene that was manipulated too early and is responsible for the human's rapid aging. This is likely to be before the end of this year, as the preparatory work was already done in 1994. It is questionable, however, whether the scientists will make their discovery public and evaluate it in the manner it actually deserves, because what it looks like will only be discussed in a truly open form much later, so it will be a long time before the public is fully informed about it. It will therefore take a very long time before genetic manipulation is reversed by manipulating the gene in question backwards, without the scientists knowing for the time being that they have come across a factor in the gene that was manipulated millions of years ago.
In the year 1995, the world was already grappling with the consequences of natural disasters. From devastating earthquakes to catastrophic hurricanes, it seemed that Mother Nature was showing her relentless power. These events ebbed and flowed, sometimes causing more havoc than others, but the overall trend was clear. The world was witnessing an increase in the frequency and intensity of natural disasters. Overpopulation was also a growing concern, and despite efforts to curb it, the world's population continued to surge. It seemed like the Earth was struggling to sustain the burgeoning numbers of humanity. In 2003, the United States delivered a significant blow to the world, plunging it into a state of turmoil. The rise of Islamic fundamentalism cast a spell over many, leading to insurrections, revolutions, wars, and terrorism. The world was becoming a more dangerous and unstable place with each passing year. Health concerns loomed large. While the rapid spread of AIDS was a constant threat, the consequences of mad cow disease in humans and animals were also on the rise. Another alarming epidemic emerged in Asia, transmitted by waterfowl and migratory birds. It spread through their feces to chickens, which in turn infected humans, mammals, and fish. The disease wreaked havoc wherever it went, causing widespread illness and death. Meanwhile, China's bioweapons research was careless, leading to the release of pathogens and a dangerous lung disease outbreak in humans. Nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons proliferated, increasing the risk of a catastrophic conflict. The world's nuclear reactors became more accident-prone, with France, in particular, being urged to exercise caution to prevent a disaster in Lyon. A prophecy warned of a potentially preventable nuclear catastrophe. In the midst of these crises, a movement for complete nonviolence emerged, but another group saw the rise of a powerful woman attaining global influence. Mass tourism continued to destroy Earth's remaining paradises, while the first steps were taken towards a Mars flight, fraught with challenges and technical difficulties. Just as the worldwide unemployment crisis was being addressed, a resurgence in weapon production indicated ominous signs of a looming Third World War. Prophecy foretold this war, and the world teetered on the brink of destruction. A new and devastating weapon threatened to escalate the conflict further. Space surveillance of Earth was neglected, adding to the uncertainty. 4 world leaders died in a span of 7 days, serving as a chilling harbinger of the impending World War. If humanity didn't change its course, the Third World War would commence, starting conventionally but rapidly escalating into nuclear, chemical, biological, and radiation warfare. The war would last for nearly 4 years, leaving the Northern Hemisphere devastated by nuclear fire and radioactive radiation. Both the animal and plant worlds would be decimated. Survivors would face a bleak and agonizing 11 years of suffering, famine, and mutation. Before this dystopian future unfolded, scientists made a groundbreaking discovery in the DNA chain, a gene responsible for rapid aging. However, whether they shared this information with the world and whether it could be used to reverse the genetic manipulation of the past remained uncertain. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, teetering between the brink of self-destruction and the hope of a brighter future.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? If the prophecy about another world war is fulfilled, if the Earth humans do not rethink things very quickly and steer everything in a good direction, then also the consequences of the Third World War will be very devastating, as well as a huge revenge campaign against the war instigators, which will be triggered and directed by a bloodthirsty man who, how could it also be otherwise, will once again be a representative of God, a pope. But this is also subject to the condition that prophecy be fulfilled through the guilt of the Earth humans.
In the not-so-distant future, the world found itself caught in a relentless cycle of turmoil and catastrophe. The year was irrelevant, the focus was on the harrowing events that had unfolded over the years. Natural disasters had become a common and destructive occurrence. Earthquakes, hurricanes, and floods seemed to strike with increasing frequency, leaving behind a trail of destruction and despair. The Earth, it seemed, was crying out for help. Overpopulation had spiraled out of control, straining the planet's resources and leaving countless communities struggling for sustenance. Efforts to curb the population's growth had faltered, and the world faced an unprecedented crisis of overcrowding. In 2003, the United States delivered a crushing blow to the world. The repercussions health became an endangered concept. AIDS continued to spread rapidly, while the consequences of mad cow disease now affected humans and animals alike. A new and alarming epidemic emerged in Asia, transmitted by migratory birds and waterfowl. It spread like wildfire, infecting chickens, humans, mammals, and fish. An invisible menace, it left suffering and death in its wake. China's reckless bioweapons research had dire consequences. A new and devastating lung disease spread, triggering panic and death. The threat of nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare loomed large. The world's nuclear reactors teetered on the edge of disaster, with a prophecy warning of a potential catastrophe in Lyon, France. The risk of accidents continued to rise. Even as humanity faced these perils, there were glimmers of hope. A movement advocating complete nonviolence began to take shape. A powerful woman emerged, destined to attain immense global influence. Mass tourism continued to erode the Earth's last paradises, while the first steps toward a Mars mission were taken, albeit with technical challenges and setbacks. Amidst the struggles and triumphs, the global unemployment crisis was being addressed, providing some relief. However, there was an alarming resurgence in weapons production, signaling the ominous approach of a Third World War. Prophecy foretold this cataclysmic event, should humanity fail to change its course and heed the lessons of the past. As tensions escalated and alliances crumbled, a new and devastating weapon loomed on the horizon, threatening to unleash unprecedented horrors upon the world. Space surveillance of Earth was criminally neglected, leaving the planet vulnerable to unforeseen dangers. In a chilling turn of events, world leaders met untimely ends within a week, casting a grim shadow over the world's prospects for peace. If humanity did not unite in its resolve to prevent another global conflict, the Third World War would inevitably commence. But the consequences of this war would be devastating, beyond anything humanity had ever witnessed. Revenge campaigns against the war instigators would ignite a new wave of brutality and bloodshed, led by an unlikely figure, a bloodthirsty pope. Claiming to be a representative of God, he would justify acts of violence and vengeance on an unprecedented scale. The world stood at a precipice, teetering between the abyss of destruction and the possibility of salvation. The prophecy would only be fulfilled if humanity failed to change its course. And the responsibility for a brighter future rested in the hands of every Earth human, desperately seeking a path to peace and enlightenment in the face of impending darkness.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? In the not-too-distant future, the Earth is threatened by the melting of the polar caps, as well as another severe economic crisis, which in turn will spread to the entire world. And once again, a world war will threaten the Earth and the entire human race by their unreasonableness. The Fourth World War. Some sensible people, however, are able to neutralize the threat, which is not least once again promoted by the invention of new, powerful weapons, which will be a realization of the weapons from science fiction novels, namely in the field of deadly light emitters, ray cannons, ray rifles and ray pistols, etc., in the field of the invention of new, powerful weapons. All this is linked to 3 scientists who will create an incredibly cheap source of energy. However, this will not be the only new source of energy, because another one will also be found based on sound vibrations. But this will also lead to the development of new deadly weapons. Science uses everything it can get its hands on. So it does not fail that the greenhouse effect can be stopped by humans and applied in reverse form, whereby then also a further melting of the polar caps can be prevented, whereby also the very sharply risen water level of all seas sinks again. In this time, the Earth human dedicates himself or herself again increasingly to space travel, which they neglected for certain years. At this time, Venus becomes of special interest for the Earth human, which is why it is also considered to send a crewed space capsule to the volcano planet. In the same process, humanity again opens up a new source of energy by taking advantage of the inner powers of the Earth. And in the further development, then again a dangerous new weapon, or two of them, will emerge, whereby the one absolutely destructively affects all matter, solely by its high and inaudible sound for humans, while it will exhibit a deadly effect on life forms of all kinds, thus an ultrasonic weapon. The second weapon will be based on high-frequency energies, which will also be able to destroy and kill everything. And the discoveries and inventions will go on, also in the field of genetic engineering and genetic manipulation, because it comes as it must come, and quite contrary to the enemies of genetic manipulation, who already today are raving against it.
In the not-too-distant future, the Earth faced an impending crisis that threatened the very existence of humanity. The melting polar caps were contributing to a global climate catastrophe, and an economic crisis was once again looming, threatening to spread its contagion across the world. Amid these challenges, the specter of yet another world war, the dreaded Fourth World War, cast a dark shadow over humanity, a war born of irrationality and conflict. However, in this tumultuous period, there remained a glimmer of hope, as some sensible individuals worked tirelessly to neutralize the impending threat. This time, it was not just the expansion of traditional weaponry, but the advent of groundbreaking science fiction-like weapons, known as deadly light emitters, ray cannons, ray rifles, and ray pistols, that posed a dire threat to the world. Three visionary scientists played a pivotal role in shaping the future. They discovered an incredibly cheap and sustainable source of energy, a breakthrough that promised to transform the world's energy landscape. Yet, it wasn't the sole innovation on the horizon. Another source of energy was found, hinging on harnessing sound vibrations, promising an abundant and eco-friendly energy source. However, even this innovation was not immune to the dual-edged sword of scientific progress, as it also paved the way for the development of new and deadly weaponry. Humanity's efforts turned towards addressing the devastating greenhouse effect that had brought the world to the brink of environmental collapse. Through the innovative application of science and technology, humans managed to reverse the greenhouse effect, preventing further melting of the polar caps and lowering the dangerously high sea levels. Space exploration, a neglected endeavor for some years, once again became a priority. The red-hot focus was on Venus, the enigmatic and volatile volcano planet. Plans emerged to send a crewed space capsule to explore this inhospitable world, hoping to unlock its secrets and utilize its unique resources for the benefit of Earth. As humans delved deeper into the Earth's mysteries, they uncovered an entirely new source of energy, harnessing the planet's inner forces. This discovery promised to revolutionize the world's energy needs and drive advancements across various fields. However, with each leap in scientific and technological progress came new dangers. Two menacing weapons emerged from the shadows of innovation. The first weapon harnessed the power of high-frequency, inaudible sound to destructively affect matter and annihilate life forms. It was an ultrasonic weapon of unparalleled devastation. The second weapon operated on high-frequency energies, capable of destroying everything it encountered. These discoveries underlined the paradox of human ingenuity, the potential for both immense good and profound destruction. Meanwhile, the relentless pursuit of knowledge continued in the field of genetic engineering and manipulation. Despite vocal opposition from critics of genetic engineering, scientists pressed forward with their research, exploring the untapped potential of manipulating the very building blocks of life. The future hung in the balance, teetering between a world on the brink of destruction and the tantalizing promise of scientific discovery and innovation. Humanity was faced with a choice: to wield their newfound knowledge and power for the betterment of the world, or to unleash forces that could lead to their own undoing.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? The future is not too far off when it will be possible to crossbreed plants and animals through genetic manipulation and create completely new forms of life. Thus, the lowly intelligent oppositional criers will shout in vain, who should truly be glad that science has finally progressed so far that genetic manipulation will become possible, because this alone will one day guarantee that the genetically manipulated degeneration in the Earth human will one day be corrected again, and they can again be integrated into the normal course of negative and positive. This, of course, does not mean that the secrets of the creation will be fathomed, for they will remain closed to Earth humanity for the time being, even if research into them is being diligently carried out on space stations outside of the Earth. But this does not mean that science will lie fallow, quite the contrary, for it will reveal the secret of gravity and thus begin to dominate space and mass in certain forms. It is only shortly before this time that it becomes possible for the Earth human to regrow human organs for organ transplants, so to speak, and to do so in accordance with the body concerned, which needs the organ, as a result of which the danger of the rejection reaction is averted. At this time, new advances into space are being made, and a particularly large and very important space project is being prepared. This will be the time at which Albert Einstein's theory of relativity will also undergo various complementary innovations. Although in this time a religion will carry out great warlike acts, as a result of which a new, dangerous weapon will be developed and used which is able to change the climate, so to speak, a climate weapon, but these times will not be as uncertain as they will be in 1995. A year in which new discoveries can be made on Mars, and a year in which a new ideology begins to emerge that differs from traditional religions. 1995 will also be the year in which a new powerful man, George W. Bush, slowly begins to develop, who wants to charm the world and gather followers around himself, like once the Pied Piper of Hamelin, which is why he is also called the Pied Piper in a prophecy. All this goes along with many innovations and discoveries in technology and science, because the year 1995 and the following years bring tremendous breakthroughs to change civilization. In the time to come, the factor of finally recognizing and correcting that which is erroneous in the calculation of the pi number will also contribute to this.
In the not-so-distant future, the world is on the brink of remarkable scientific and genetic breakthroughs. The power of genetic manipulation has reached new heights, allowing scientists to experiment with the very building blocks of life. They crossbreed plants and animals, giving birth to entirely new forms of life, ushering in an era that some critics vehemently oppose. These critics, known as the oppositional criers, raise their voices in futile protest. They fail to see that genetic manipulation holds the potential to correct the genetic degeneration in the human species, ensuring that humanity can reintegrate into the natural cycle of life, both the negative and positive aspects. The secrets of creation, however, remain elusive, despite diligent research being conducted on space stations outside Earth. Yet, science is far from stagnant. It's on the verge of unlocking the mystery of gravity, a force that can be harnessed to control mass and space in novel ways. Just before this momentous era, the possibility of regrowing human organs for transplants emerges. Scientists learn to grow organs according to the recipient's specific needs, eliminating the risk of rejection. Space exploration accelerates, culminating in a grand and pivotal space project that promises to redefine humanity's relationship with the cosmos. Albert Einstein's theory of relativity also undergoes various complementary innovations, further expanding our understanding of the universe. Amid these scientific advancements, a religion embarks on a series of aggressive actions. This fervent religious group develops a powerful and dangerous weapon capable of manipulating the climate, a climate weapon. However, this time isn't as uncertain as the year 1995, for the world is beginning to understand and harness these emerging technologies. Mars becomes a focal point for new discoveries, as humanity takes its first tentative steps towards interplanetary exploration. In the midst of these extraordinary developments, a new ideology begins to take root, one distinct from traditional religions. And in the political arena, a charismatic and powerful figure emerges, much like the legendary Pied Piper of Hameln, who seeks to charm the world and gather followers around him. These transformative years bring about incredible innovations and discoveries in technology and science, reshaping the very fabric of civilization. As society ushers in these changes, one of the subtle yet profound transformations is the long-awaited recognition and correction of errors in the calculation of the mathematical constant pi. The future is teeming with potential and promise. Where the boundaries of science, genetics, and space exploration continue to expand, leaving a legacy of progress and change that will define the generations to come.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? The new climate weapon will cause the whole Earth to succumb to a very problematic climate change, because the total temperature will drop enormously and will therefore sink. Not only the land, but also the seas will freeze by humanity's madness. As a result of this, a new invention is made, which, operated by cheapest energy, warms the Earth's atmosphere artificially. This in turn is the time when it is discovered in Japan, China, that the existing physics is not the wisdom of last knowledge, but that there is still a higher physics that reaches into the realms of the fine material. After this realization, science is discredited for some time. Nonetheless, space research continues and a new world is found, a new Earth, which is suitable for the colonization of Earth humans. However, the actual time at which space travel and the many discoveries associated with it begin is very early. Space expeditions will be largely successful, including the uncovering or findings of former life on Mars. This will be reason enough for terrestrial humans to build and equip new and more far-reaching spacecraft and to fly out into the vastness of space in order to make even greater and more interesting and, above all, even more important discoveries, even if these spaceships will still be on the move for a relatively long time during the early periods, until finally propulsion possibilities are found that enable space travel at the highest speeds and without time shifts, until one day faster-than-light spacecraft become commonplace, reaching millions of times the speed of light. Until then, however, some hundreds of years or even millennia still pass, but nevertheless, the aforementioned prophecies and predictions already occur in the near and distant future, so that everything will not be long in coming. The beginnings of prophecies, predictions, and visions at any rate will also be experienced by living elderly humans of today. It will, however, be our more distant descendants who will find earlier extraterrestrial artifacts and stations of earlier humanities in distant but foreseeable time on distant worlds and will repair them again and use them again. But all this is also connected with great dangers, because through space travel also dangerous diseases and epidemics are brought to the Earth, as well as the extremely malignant wolf, like a prophecy of this horror, which could either be a horrible animal or a deadly epidemic, which unfortunately cannot be clearly defined, and therefore remains open for an explanation. According to prophecy, this deadly factor is to be brought in or brought to the Earth by astronauts who break the law. But besides, at that time far away, the discovery of a new and very significant matter is also called for, through which humanity gains many advantages if they are able to make use of them. All of this will be around that time when a new order gains power on the earth, through which all needs of the human beings can be satisfied in inexpensive form. In connection with this also, overall-like suits are invented and produced for humans, which make it possible to fly through the air without any other aids. But before all this happens, just 3 decades before a third information code is discovered in the human body, while then the first decisive steps are taken to solve the problems of old age, heart, and wear and tear diseases, which lead to success after about 25 years. At about the same time, when the first steps are taken in this direction, the possibilities of a classless society and the technical biological prerequisites to clean up the polluted rivers, lakes, and oceans of the world will emerge. However, this laudable progress is countered by another extremely negative invention which, constructed as a biological weapon, will cause a great deal of disaster and cause people and animals to age in a matter of seconds. Shortly thereafter comes the time at which the night twilight comes into its own, as another prophecy and a prediction say. This is a new technical achievement, by which the night side of the planet Earth is to be illuminated by an artificial sun from a space station in each case, whereby, however, no daylight but only a bright twilight state is reached.
In the not-so-distant future, the Earth faced an unprecedented threat as the devastating climate weapon plunged the planet into a perilous climate crisis. The world was gripped by a catastrophic drop in temperatures, leading not only to the freezing of lands but also the oceans, pushing humanity to the brink of disaster. In a remarkable turn of events, science and innovation provided a solution. A groundbreaking invention, powered by a cheap and sustainable source of energy, was created to artificially warm the Earth's atmosphere. With this, humanity managed to counteract the cataclysmic effects of the climate weapon, restoring balance and averting a global catastrophe. During this tumultuous time, a revelation emerged from the heart of the East, in Japan and China, challenging conventional physics. Scientists discovered a higher form of physics that delved into the realms of the subtle material. This realization rocked the foundations of established scientific knowledge and cast a shadow of doubt over the scientific community. Despite this setback, space exploration continued unabated. Exciting and challenging missions led to the discovery of a new world, a planet suitable for colonization by Earth humans. The age of space exploration dawned early, paving the way for numerous discoveries, including signs of past life on Mars. This success motivated humanity to design and equip new, more advanced spacecraft. The quest to venture deeper into the cosmos, make unprecedented findings, and explore the mysteries of the universe ignited a new space race. While early spacecraft traveled at relatively slow speeds, humanity eventually unlocked the secrets of propulsion, enabling them to traverse space at incredible velocities. Fast-forwarding hundreds of years or even millennia, mankind attained the capability to travel at speeds exceeding that of light. Faster-than-light spacecraft became the norm, achieving millions of times the speed of light. The predictions and prophecies that had been made over the centuries began to materialize, as the distant future drew closer. The inhabitants of Earth, including the elders of today, witnessed the beginnings of these prophecies and predictions. It was their far-off descendants who would discover extraterrestrial artifacts and stations left behind by earlier civilizations on distant planets, repairing and repurposing them for their own benefit. Yet, with these achievements came risks. The perils of space travel included the inadvertent spread of dangerous diseases and epidemics to Earth. The enigmatic wolf, foretold in prophecy, remained an ominous mystery, whether it be a deadly animal or a contagious epidemic. It was destined to be carried back to Earth by astronauts who broke the law. In the midst of these advancements, humanity discovered a new and profoundly significant material, offering a multitude of advantages for those who could harness its potential. Around the same time, a new world order emerged, promising to fulfill the needs of the people in an affordable and equitable manner. All-encompassing suits were invented, allowing humans to fly unassisted through the air. As humanity progressed, scientific breakthroughs continued to reshape the future. Just 3 decades before the discovery of the third information code in the human body, scientists embarked on groundbreaking research to address the issues of old age, heart disease, and wear and tear ailments. Over the course of approximately 25 years, they found success. During the same era, the prospects of a classless society and the technical biological prerequisites for cleaning the Earth's polluted waters emerged. This commendable progress, however, was overshadowed by the creation of a malevolent invention, a biological weapon capable of causing rapid aging in both humans and animals. Shortly thereafter, the world entered a new phase known as the night twilight, as foretold by prophecy. This technological marvel involved the illumination of Earth's night side with an artificial sun, emanating a gentle twilight glow rather than full daylight. The future held a blend of promise and peril, as humanity continued to push the boundaries of scientific discovery and technological advancement. It was a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of the human spirit, facing challenges and reaching for the stars, even in the face of uncertainty.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? The artificial sun in the sky heralds practically a new era, that of space conquest on a grand scale. Space travel will finally become commercial and an extremely important and powerful institution, by which also the secret of the creation, and thus also the origin of life and all existence will be pursued just by science, by which this again becomes very powerful, of course in connection with the space institution, by which the scientists are controlled. This cannot go well then, of course, as it will come to pass, as it must inevitably happen, that the governments of the Earth will be more and more ignored and disadvantaged by the space facility and the scientists, which will once again give rise to disputes, provide the best conditions for a new war, only about 15 years after the aging gene has been isolated and neutralized, and thus the biological aging of humans can be defeated to a great extent, whereby the earlier malignant genetic manipulation in this respect by the creator rulers will finally be eliminated again. The renewed threat of war will break out and last for about 40 years. But first, about 6 years earlier, humans will be reconstructed into machines or robots by connecting their nerve tracts with the finest electronic biological apparatuses and machines and thereby controlling them, which will lead to great problems about 85 years later, when, As in the earliest times before, the powerful scientists will begin to play God and create new genetic breeds between humans and animals, who will then declare their solidarity with the robot humans as half-humans. Until then, however, more than 8 decades will pass after the creation of robot humans, as has already been said. With the creation of robotic humans, intelligent robots of a biological, electronic, mechanical kind will also be constructed, as will a very large space station, which will have its own orbit around the Sun and on which many humans will live.
In the not-so-distant future, humanity entered a new era marked by the presence of an artificial sun, a radiant symbol of progress and innovation. The advent of this celestial marvel signaled the dawn of an era of space conquest on an unprecedented scale. Space travel evolved beyond scientific exploration into a thriving commercial enterprise, supported by an influential and powerful space institution. The quest to unravel the mysteries of creation, the origin of life, and the fundamental secrets of existence became the driving force behind this grand endeavor. Science, fortified by this potent partnership with the space institution, surged to new heights. However, this momentous era was not without its challenges. As the influence and authority of the space institution and its scientific collaborators grew, governments on Earth began to feel marginalized and ignored. Tensions mounted, fostering the conditions for conflict, and the specter of war loomed large. This looming conflict was fueled by a series of disputes and power struggles that had been simmering for some time. The world had only recently celebrated a remarkable scientific achievement, the isolation and neutralization of the aging gene. This breakthrough promised to extend human lifespans significantly and reduce the effects of biological aging. It also marked the beginning of the end of the detrimental genetic manipulations imposed by the enigmatic creator rulers. The newfound prospects for extended life were accompanied by a resurgence of global tensions. Approximately 15 years after the breakthrough in aging research, a renewed threat of war erupted, and it would persist for around 4 decades. However, the conflict would take a dark and unforeseen turn about 6 years before the war's onset. Scientists embarked on a radical experiment, connecting human nerve tracts with advanced electronic biological apparatuses and machines. This fusion effectively turned humans into machines or robots, controlled by the intricate technology interwoven with their neural networks. The repercussions of this transformation would unfold gradually over the next 85 years, as the powerful scientists delved into the role of creators. They began to engineer new genetic hybrids, merging human and animal DNA, leading to the emergence of half-humans who declared their solidarity with the robot humans. This progression signaled a profound shift in the dynamics of society, ethics, and identity. But before these radical transformations could fully take hold, several decades passed. Over 8 decades after the inception of the robot humans, the world witnessed the creation of a new class of intelligent robots, which combined biological, electronic, and mechanical components. Alongside these advances, the construction of an immense space station, complete with its own orbit around the Sun, became a reality. The station would serve as a habitat for a substantial human population living beyond Earth's boundaries, further expanding the frontiers of human exploration and technological achievement. The future held an intriguing blend of wonder, uncertainty, and transformation as humanity embarked on an extraordinary journey, continually pushing the boundaries of science, technology, and the very essence of what it meant to be human.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? As is characteristic of humans through their degeneration, warlike and insurrectionary actions will not fail to arise on Mars. This happens at that time, when through an extraterrestrial consultation, the Earth humans build stations on the seabeds for habitation, which causes dangerous ecological imbalances, however, both in the seas and on land and in the air. And once again, a new, dangerous, deadly weapon is invented to decompose the bones of life forms. At the same time, the artificial sun, created some 50 years ago, will drift out of its orbit and fall to the Earth in just 72 hours. With this time, the Earth's orbit around the sun also changes, as does its own rotation, which shortens the years and days and also the nights. Unfortunately, the first space conflict or space war will take place between the Earth humans and those who emigrated to Mars, whereby the large space station will also be affected, which will be located behind the Sun in an orbit around it. This will be the time when a new time calculation will be considered, because the new time of day and season of the Earth can no longer be compatible with the old one.
In the not-too-distant future, the human penchant for conflict and insurrection extends to the distant planet of Mars. It occurs during a period when Earth humans, inspired by extraterrestrial consultations, embark on the ambitious endeavor of constructing habitable stations on the seabeds. While this technological marvel fulfills their aspirations, it unintentionally disrupts ecological balance, both beneath the ocean's depths and on the Earth's surface. In the midst of these unfolding events, another ominous invention emerges, a weapon designed to disintegrate the very bones of life forms, a perilous development that exacerbates the tensions between different factions. Simultaneously, the artificial sun, a creation that had illuminated the sky for the past 5 decades, faces a dire fate. It drifts from its orbit, hurtling towards Earth, a catastrophic event that looms just 72 hours away. This impending catastrophe not only threatens the balance of Earth's climate but also impacts the planet's orbit around the Sun and its rotational dynamics, leading to shorter years, days, and nights. The unfolding crisis serves as the backdrop for the first-ever space conflict, a clash between Earth humans and those who have settled on Mars. This escalating conflict will also involve a colossal space station positioned in an orbit behind the Sun. As this period of upheaval and change unfolds, humanity contemplates the need for a new system of time calculation. The altered rhythms of day, season, and night can no longer align with the old ways of measuring time. The challenges of this new era prompt Earth humans to adapt and redefine their understanding of the passage of time, reflecting the ever-evolving nature of human existence in a universe full of surprises and challenges.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? If the Earth human of today is already under the spell of religions and sects, they will continue to be so for several hundred years to come. In this consequence, a new founder of religion will appear after the new Earth time calculation, who will suspend the Christian Sunday as well as the Islamic Friday and the Jewish Sabbath in order to create a new holiday regulation. At this time, money will also be abolished, but this will not last long, and for the time being will only remain an experiment, because the trade with values, such as precious metals and diamonds, etc., will continue underground. And so this will be the time at which the Earth human will commit the madness to change the earthly atmosphere in a terrible form.
In the foreseeable future, the Earth human finds themselves still under the sway of religious beliefs and sects, with these deeply ingrained traditions continuing for centuries to come. Amid this spiritual backdrop, a new religious leader emerges, prompted by a profound transformation in the Earth's time calculation. This visionary founder of a new faith takes bold steps to revamp religious practices. They choose to suspend the observance of traditional holy days such as the Christian Sunday, Islamic Friday, and Jewish Sabbath. Instead, they aim to introduce a novel holiday regulation, one that reflects the evolving nature of their faith and the changing world around them. During this era, a radical shift unfolds in the realm of economics. The concept of money is abolished, marking a momentous departure from centuries of financial systems. However, this bold experiment is not without its challenges and complexities. Underground economies persist, with trade revolving around the exchange of valuable commodities such as precious metals and diamonds. In this period, humanity finds itself on the brink of unprecedented change. The Earth humans' ambition and curiosity lead them to engage in a daring and perhaps reckless endeavor. They embark on a mission to tamper with the very atmosphere that sustains life on Earth, unleashing the potential for unforeseen consequences and profound transformation. As the future unfolds, it is a world where the human spirit grapples with a delicate balance between faith and reason, tradition and innovation, and the profound urge to shape their own destiny within an ever-evolving universe.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? And again, a war follows on the Earth, because the Earth humans still will not have become more peaceful and not cleverer. Also, with regard to scientists, nothing can be predicted in this respect that would be good, because at this time, they will carry out the first human-animal genetic manipulations and create beings that will develop as so-called half-humans from human-pig crossbreeding, which will then be trained as fighting machines in order to wage wars and carry out all kinds of work in space. In the long run, however, this will not go well, because they will begin to oppose their creators as well as the robot humans, whose arms and legs will be amputated in order to be able to connect the nerve tracks with fine electronic biological apparatuses, whereby these humans will become living control organs for spaceships and weapons of all kinds, as well as for machines and all kinds of Earth vehicles, etc. At this time, a new man with the universal teaching will appear to submit it to all humankind on the earth, which he will do remarkably well, even if counteractions will be carried out by the existing religions and sects all over the world, as has been customary with them since time immemorial. The teaching of the Spirit will be contained in the teaching, and about 40 years later, the teaching of reincarnation will be spread worldwide and will also be recognized by the existing religions. Before this, however, there will be unpleasant encounters with extraterrestrials, which can result in a pleasant connection if the Earth humans take the right path. Otherwise, the unpleasant and, under certain circumstances, also dangerous perspective remains. At this time, humanity also learns to slowly prevent natural disasters through technical intervention. Especially active volcanoes can be calmed and their activity can be contained, as well as weather influences can be brought under control. At the same time, however, warlike actions come into play again on the Earth, which are triggered by the invention or discovery of a new and very valuable energy, whereby their ownership rights will be at stake. Problems also arise with the humans themselves, because their relative immortality, respectively, their longevity will already amount to about 350 years at that time, which of course creates more and more overpopulation problems and all other problems resulting from it, to which also migrations of peoples belong, from which also new mixed peoples develop, like, for example, one that will call itself Eurasian and claim the Eurasian space as its home. At that time, when the half-humans, the human-animal gene-manipulated ones, and the robot humans will cause enormous problems, which will lead to a nasty decline of all space programs, and almost bring them to a standstill, because the robot humans and half-humans will refuse to continue to work for the normal humans and live a miserable existence of inferiority and exploitation as living controls for spaceships, vehicles and machines, and as fighting machines and so on. Etc. This, in turn, will happen at the time when a climatic collapse will take place on the Earth, when the sun will become noticeably weaker in its function because its nuclear fusions will diminish.
In the unfolding pages of the future, Earth remains a turbulent and unpredictable world, characterized by cycles of conflict and scientific advancements that push the boundaries of ethics and morality. Despite the passage of time, humanity's quest for peace remains elusive, as wars continue to erupt, reflecting the persistent failings of human nature. Scientists, the bearers of knowledge and potential progress, are also caught in this turbulent dance of progress and destruction. During this era, scientists venture into uncharted territory, experimenting with the creation of beings that blur the line between humanity and the animal kingdom. Through human-animal genetic manipulations, they give rise to half-humans, creatures born of human-pig crossbreeding. These half-humans are groomed to serve as both warriors and laborers in the vast expanse of space. However, this daring experiment gradually takes a dark turn, as these creations begin to rebel against their creators. Meanwhile, another group of humans, the robot humans, undergo drastic transformations, as their limbs are amputated to enable them to connect their nervous systems with fine electronic biological apparatuses. These altered beings become living control units for spaceships, weaponry, and various machines, a stark reflection of a future marked by profound technological advancements. In the midst of this tumultuous period, a new figure emerges, a visionary leader who imparts a universal teaching to humankind. Despite opposition from established religions and sects, this individual manages to convey a profound message centered around spirituality, and in doing so, they help reshape the beliefs of many. Approximately 4 decades later, the teaching of reincarnation gains global recognition, even within the confines of existing religions. It represents a significant step forward, uniting diverse belief systems and fostering a deeper understanding of life's intricacies. During these transformative years, Earth encounters extraterrestrial beings. The outcome of these encounters hangs in the balance, with the potential for either a harmonious connection or a more perilous outcome, contingent upon the choices made by Earth humans. This period also marks a growing mastery over nature's forces. Earthlings develop the capability to mitigate natural disasters through technological interventions, such as the ability to pacify active volcanoes and manipulate weather patterns. However, the relentless march of progress continues to bring both blessings and burdens. The quest for a new and potent energy source triggers conflicts over ownership rights, potentially igniting yet another destructive chapter in human history. Another challenge looms on the horizon: human longevity and relative immortality. With lifespans of 250 to 350 years, overpopulation issues, migrations of peoples, and the emergence of new mixed cultures, like the Eurasians, become pressing concerns. Yet, the zenith of these difficulties emerges when the half-humans, the human-animal gene-manipulated beings, and the robot humans face an existential crisis. Their refusal to continue serving as living controls for spaceships, vehicles, machines, and warriors contributes to the decline of space programs and the potential for further exploration beyond Earth's boundaries. This tumultuous period coincides with a climatic collapse on Earth, as the sun's nuclear fusions weaken, casting a shadow over the future of humanity and the unforeseeable paths it may take. The human spirit, driven by ambition, curiosity, and the desire to push the limits of knowledge and existence, continues its journey into an uncertain, complex, and ever-evolving future.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? The exploratory urge of the Earth humans knows no borders. Consequently, they penetrate further and further into the world space, which, unfortunately, however, will also bring about disadvantageous effects. So it cannot be avoided that unexpected horrors will appear, because Providence says that at this no longer very distant time, the Earth human will encounter something very horrible on their space expeditions, which then brings with it great and difficult problems. An event that is to take place about 20 years later, when the frightening and certain realization is gained that the sun is indeed a dying star. And again, about 35 years later, a new horror will hit the Earth humans, when by a space research ship of Earthlings from a distant planet, a deadly epidemic is introduced on the Earth, which medical science will face helplessly. At this time, the knowledge about the meaning of the creation will be known for about 35 years, as well as the truth that negative and positive in themselves form an independent unity, as well as they are a perfect unity when put together. Only shortly after this realization, the aforementioned space research ship will be launched, which will meet with great horror. Equipped with a completely new propulsion, the ship is to penetrate expedition-wise so far into space that the original home planets of the first gene-manipulated ones are to be reached. A company which at this point is still completely irresponsible for the Earth human, because on the one hand, they are still trapped in their genetic degeneration, and on the other hand, in their megalomania, they dangerously underestimate the dangers of the world space and foreign worlds, which proves itself only about halfway to the original home and origin planets of the genetically manipulated ones when the expedition encounters terrible extraterrestrial life. This world space expedition becomes possible only because at this time the technical equipment and machines and all electronic instruments, etc., no longer have to be operated and controlled by humans, but are equipped with an independent biological intelligence, which makes every control and operation almost infallible. One day, however, robot humans will rebel against this, and they will still be performing their functions at that time. At this time, Earth human space travel reaches the peak of its development for the time being, although research does not stand still, through which further mysteries of matter are soon fathomed and solved. The emerging domination of the robot humans under the leadership of one of their peers, who as an enemy of all other human life forms will make a name for himself but will soon be caught up in death, is also in flux. At this time, the megalomaniac scientists once again stage a tremendous spectacle by creating a gigantic second sun. Although it will only be a small group of scientists, they will ignite a soul planet through a dangerous experiment, which will burn for 7 days and glisten as a second sun in the Sol system before it extinguishes and becomes dark. Both Jupiter and Saturn, which are two unfinished small suns, are suitable for such an experiment. Thus, the question of which planets will be chosen for this madness, which will take place in the future, should become superfluous. At the same time, brain research will also make great progress and implant micromodules in the human and animal scalp, through which all control functions of the brain can be taken over and executed. So this will also be the time when an artificial world will be settled in a foreign solar system very far away from the Earth by a big wave of emigration, because the still increasing overpopulation of the Earth planet still rises unreasonably. At the same time, the robot humans become a dangerous problem for the normal humans, because now also these begin to multiply and bear many descendants, who, genetically manipulated, are born without arms and legs, but already with exposed nerve endings so that they can be connected to the apparatuses and machines, etc., without operative interventions. Robot humans will become a real danger for normal people because they will have undreamt of powers of consciousness, which they will develop in the course of time, and as a result of the supernormal use of consciousness, whereby the brain will be supplied to its function from outside with special energies through a very specially devised energy generator, whereby the powers of consciousness can be brought to maximum performance.
In the pages of the Earth's future, the insatiable curiosity of Earth humans propels them further and further into the boundless expanse of space. Yet, as their journeys expand, so too do the challenges and enigmas they encounter. Unforeseen horrors await these intrepid explorers, as their space expeditions lead them to face mysterious and unsettling phenomena. In about 2 decades, a chilling realization grips humanity, a profound understanding that the sun, once the life-giver, is now a dying star. This revelation carries with it the weight of impending change and uncertainty. Approximately 35 years later, another calamity befalls the Earth humans. A space research vessel from a remote world inadvertently introduces a deadly epidemic to Earth, leaving medical science helpless in its wake. In these times, the wisdom of creation and the profound understanding that negative and positive forces are an integral, perfect unity is widely acknowledged. It is during this period of revelation that a new chapter in space exploration is unveiled. A space research ship equipped with groundbreaking propulsion embarks on an ambitious mission to journey deep into space, seeking the original home planets of the first gene-manipulated beings. This endeavor remains a reckless pursuit, as humanity is still grappling with the consequences of genetic degeneration and underestimating the perils of the cosmos. One of the most significant advancements of this time is the integration of biological intelligence into the operation of technical equipment, machines, and electronic instruments. This innovation leads to almost infallible control and operation. However, as with many advances, unforeseen challenges arise as robot humans eventually rebel against this technological domination. Simultaneously, the audacious scientists orchestrate a breathtaking spectacle by igniting a second sun. A small group of scientists conducts a daring experiment to trigger a SOL planet, allowing it to burn for 7 days and serve as a second sun in the Sol system. This mesmerizing display occurs before the second sun's eventual extinguishment. Progress in brain research also reaches new heights during this era, as scientists implant micromodules into the scalps of humans and animals. These micromodules grant control over the brain's functions, marking a profound advancement in neurotechnology. Amidst these groundbreaking achievements, Earth humans establish an artificial world in a distant solar system to accommodate the ever-growing population of their home planet. This migration marks a significant step in the quest to address the mounting overpopulation crisis. Yet, as normal humans and robot humans coexist, a potential danger emerges. Robot humans, born without limbs but with exposed nerve endings, wield unprecedented consciousness and power. Their brains receive external energies through specially designed generators, elevating their cognitive capabilities to extraordinary levels. As the Earth's journey into the unknown continues, humanity faces a complex interplay of innovation, challenge, and moral questioning, balancing the heights of scientific achievement with the depths of ethical considerations. The future remains a tapestry woven with both the brilliance and ambiguity of human exploration and invention.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? There comes a time when, with the weakening of the sun's nuclear fusions, enormous changes will take place in the Sol system. Not only will the entire gravitational field be out of control and change, but large-scale climate change will also be the order of the day. This spurs scientists on to peak performance because they want to counteract the negative effects of the sun, which, in contrast to erroneous scientific assumptions, will appear much earlier over many millennia than previously assumed up till now. Only now is it really recognized correctly that the sun is a dying star, and thus the collapse of the Sol system is already determined. Even if the sun will continue to exist still approximately 4.1,041,000,000 years, however, then already as dead star, which is swallowed then after this time by a black hole and is destroyed. So the scientists begin to perform at their best and find the miscalculations underlying the pi number. By correcting and now correctly calculating the pi number, the scientists and the incredibly sophisticated technology will be able to harness unimaginable energies for the Earth by making it possible for them to derive energies from black holes in the wide area of the Milky Way and make them usable for the Earth. At this time, however, scientists will still not be able to reach the center of our galaxy to tap into the black hole there. However, this will not be necessary for the time being, because the surrounding objects for energy generation are completely sufficient to serve the Earth. This new energy production, as well as the kind of the energy itself, will henceforth make it possible for the Earth human to develop new space travel forms, in whose consequence and extension also that travel and transport factor becomes reality, which in the year 1995 and all time before, as well as still for a long time into the future, is called fantasy and impossible, namely time travel. This invention, in turn, enables humanity to travel into the past and the future, as well as into the vastness of the universe, which was previously impossible. As a result, it is of course inevitable that new forms of human life will be discovered, extraterrestrials from whom Earth people will learn a great deal and unimagined things, and who are immensely more intelligent than the Earth humans themselves. This in turn leads to rapid development in all areas, whereby biological intelligences of artificial form are created, which are used for the control and handling of all apparatuses, devices, electronics and machines, as well as flight and driving, etc., in a form in which it need not be feared that the biological intelligences would become independent and pose a danger to the terrestrial humans, as will be the case with the robot humans, who, as a result, will no longer be needed and will therefore, in short, be exterminated.
In the not-so-distant future, the sun's dwindling nuclear fusions herald a cascade of monumental changes in the Sol system. As the sun weakens, its gravitational field shifts unpredictably, and the climate on Earth undergoes dramatic transformations. Faced with these challenges, scientists rise to the occasion, driven to devise innovative solutions. Their quest to counteract the sun's diminishing power leads them to uncover the long-standing miscalculations regarding the value of pi. By rectifying these inaccuracies and correctly calculating the pi number, scientists unlock a realm of hitherto unimaginable energy. They harness these newfound energies from the black holes scattered across the Milky Way, enabling the Earth to benefit from their immense power. While the scientists remain unable to reach the core of the galaxy to tap into the black hole there, the energies derived from surrounding celestial objects prove sufficient for Earth's needs. This energy revolution paves the way for the development of advanced space travel technologies, including time travel, a concept that once seemed confined to the realm of fantasy. Earth humans are now capable of traveling through time, journeying to the past and future, as well as exploring the vast reaches of the universe. As they venture into the cosmos, Earth humans encounter new forms of life, extraterrestrial beings whose intelligence dwarfs that of humanity. These otherworldly encounters yield valuable knowledge, expanding the boundaries of human understanding and technological prowess. The quest for knowledge culminates in the creation of biological intelligences in artificial forms. These beings are designed to control and operate all manner of devices, electronics, machines, aircraft, and vehicles. They serve as tireless, reliable guardians of technology, ensuring that these biological intelligences do not evolve into independent entities that could pose a threat to their human creators. While these developments usher in an era of unprecedented scientific achievement and discovery, the fate of robot humans, a creation of the past, stands in stark contrast. They become obsolete and are ultimately eradicated, symbolizing a complex interplay of progress and obsolescence, innovation and extinction in the grand tapestry of humanity's future.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? Now comes the time when all space stations and satellites around the Earth and around Mars, as well as Venus, will crash because the condition of the Sun changes due to the ever weaker activity in such a form that enormous changes of the gravitational fields of all planets and the Sun itself occur. Once again, the scientists begin to work at full speed to find a solution, but this does not succeed, but leads to the success of discovering another and extremely important factor in the creation formula. But already the planet Earth is threatened by a new threat from the world's space, this time from the depths of the central universe itself. But this danger will only become recognizable as such much later. Only then will Earth humans again place artificial suns in the Earth's orbit, but far beyond the usual distance. But even with this, people will not have much luck, because one of the artificial suns will glow up due to severe damage and burn large areas of the Earth. The atmosphere will also be dangerously affected, causing oxygen shortages, which will then result in worldwide fighting. This catastrophe will also give rise to a second one, because the burning of the land and the lack of oxygen will not be without consequences by nature. But everything will also harm the economy and the entire food industry, from which a famine will arise, just as the world has never seen and never experienced such a famine during all the times that have passed over thousands of years. This will then be the beginning of the end of conventional space travel. Because just under a decade later, only the most modern technology of time travel will be common practice, through which millions of light years can be bridged or hastened through without any loss of time, so that humanity is then no longer limited in their ability to cope with distance. This also marks the point in time when gerontology will be able to free humans from the curse of rapid aging by gene reverse manipulation, which was carried out at the earliest time by the genetic manipulators, the creator rulers, by a special genetic manipulation of the then early combat humans. Through this reverse manipulation, humanity will reach a much higher age than has already been achieved through earlier interventions by earthly geneticists, and as a result, the average age of terrestrial humans will rise to about 400 years. What will now be achieved in a new form, however, will then move within a human lifetime that must be set extremely high and calculated at thousands of years. In the next few years that follow, intelligent sea dwellers will communicate with humans and begin to make contact with them, from which a new breed of earth dwellers will emerge. But this will also be the time when aggressions with the Mars inhabitants will be initiated, from which attacks on the colonies will actually be launched. After that, 15 years of relative rest will follow, which will finally bring happiness to Earth humans in search of their actual origin, because a space expedition of Earth humans will penetrate into the Sirius regions and discover or find there the proofs for the primeval origin of the Earth humans. who were conceived in earliest time as genetically manipulated ones by the creator rulers in the Sirius areas, and then fled, after which the SOL system was found, and settled on long journeys and over many millennia. So, Earth humankind finally finds its way back to its origin, but this will not solve its problems faster. This discovery is, of course, connected with the contacts with the very distant descendants of the former creator rulers, as well as with other Sirius intelligences, which, however, no longer leads to the persecution and slaughter of the descendants of the genetically manipulated ones, the terrestrial humans, but to cooperation, which will also have the consequence that the former genetic manipulation will be finally reversed, whereby descendants will then be brought into the world who are again normal and thus no longer degenerate, whereby the circle will finally close again and humanity will actually become human, in balance of the negative and the positive.
In the not-so-distant future, the equilibrium of the cosmos is teetering on the brink. The weakening activity of the Sun sends ripples of change through the solar system, disrupting the gravitational fields of planets and celestial bodies. Earth humans, ever resourceful, mobilize their scientific prowess to understand and mitigate the celestial conundrum. In their quest for a solution, scientists make a groundbreaking discovery, an essential element of the formula of creation. This revelation sets in motion a series of cosmic events that transcend their terrestrial realm. As Earth grapples with the implications of these solar changes, an unforeseen threat emerges from the depths of the central universe itself. But this danger remains veiled for now, lurking on the horizon, waiting for the right moment to unveil itself. Faced with their cosmic predicament, Earth humans deploy a desperate gambit by placing artificial suns in orbit around their home planet. These artificial suns, however, prove unpredictable, and a catastrophic failure of one leads to devastating consequences. The Earth's surface is scorched, oxygen levels plummet, and a global famine of unparalleled proportions ensues, leading to widespread strife and chaos. This calamity signals the beginning of the end for conventional space travel. Just a short decade later, the mastery of time travel technology becomes the new norm. It offers humanity the ability to span millions of light years without the constraints of time. Space, once a boundless frontier, now yields its secrets to those who dare to unlock its mysteries. The field of gerontology achieves a milestone, rescuing humanity from the shackles of rapid aging. Gene reverse manipulation, born from the ancestral genetic tinkering by creator rulers, allows Earth humans to extend their lives to astounding lengths. A renaissance of longevity takes root, with an average human lifespan reaching an astonishing 400 years. Yet this is only the beginning of what is possible, as human lifespans may extend to thousands of years within a single generation. During the years that follow, intelligent sea-dwellers make contact with terrestrial humans, ushering in a new era of interconnected existence. Their collaboration brings forth a novel breed of Earth-dwellers, demonstrating the adaptability and resilience of the human species. Despite these accomplishments, tensions escalate with Mars inhabitants, leading to skirmishes and attacks on the Martian colonies. 15 years of relative tranquility follow, during which Earth humans embark on an ambitious space expedition to the Sirius regions. There, they unearth compelling evidence regarding their primordial origins, traced back to genetic manipulation by the creator rulers in the Sirius realms. The descendants of Earth humans, conceived as genetic experiments in these distant star systems, are ultimately reconciled with their origin, leading to a newfound understanding and harmony. Cooperation with serious intelligences ushers in a new era of unity, marked by the reversal of the genetic manipulations that have shaped Earth human history. As normal, unaltered humans re-emerge, the cycle of the species reaches a turning point, rebalancing the scales between the negative and positive aspects of human existence. Humanity, having rediscovered its true origin, embarks on a path of restoration, harmony, and reconciliation.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? The reversal of the formerly degenerative gene manipulation, as well as the still increasing overpopulation, which is all the more triggered by the enormously high life expectancy of the human beings, will have the result that those who have not yet been genetically manipulated on the Earth and in all colonies on all of the Earth, humans' inhabited worlds and space stations, etc., are to be brought to extinction in a manner that has been proclaimed and demanded by responsibly minded ones for a long time in the past, namely by a worldwide birth freeze in a 7-year cycle. Within this framework, only offspring should be allowed to be fathered by parents whose degeneration has already been remedied by reverse gene manipulation. Only such humans will therefore still be entitled to procreate in order to procreate legally permitted offspring. Any unauthorized procreation will be associated with the strictest measures, because from now on such procreation will be classified as the worst crime of all and punished with the death of the guilty party. This will be enshrined as an unavoidable law, only about 5 years before the total control over the Earth is transferred to the administrative sphere of the Sirius Federation and carried out from there. However, at that distant time, the Earth will nevertheless have ambitious scientists who will gain new insights and make new discoveries, also in the field of chemistry, from which they will wrest the last secrets, for in spite of the immense knowledge that will be imparted to Earth people by extraterrestrial intelligences, by no means all the secrets of all things have been fathomed and solved, which is why research will continue diligently, also with regard to astronomy, whereby they will penetrate into the center of the Milky Way in order to fathom its secret and that of the black hole.
In the distant future, Earth's destiny hangs in the balance. The reversal of the detrimental gene manipulation, combined with a burgeoning global population resulting from significantly extended lifespans, has created an impending crisis. Earth's responsible authorities decide to take a drastic step to ensure the survival of the species. A new law is passed, ushering in a worldwide birth freeze in a 7-year cycle. Only individuals who have undergone the gene manipulation to correct their genetic degeneration are permitted to procreate legally. This radical policy aims to bring the human population under control while safeguarding the future of the species. Unsanctioned procreation is considered the gravest of offenses and is met with the harshest penalties, including capital punishment. This profound transformation in human procreation takes place just 5 years before the complete transfer of Earth's administration to the Sirius Federation. The Sirius Federation, a body of advanced extraterrestrial intelligences, assumes governance over Earth, implementing a regime that harmonizes with the values and wisdom of the cosmos. During this epoch, Earth is graced with visionary scientists who continue to make groundbreaking discoveries, including new realms of chemistry. These pioneering minds unearth the last mysteries of the universe, bridging the gaps in human understanding. Despite the wealth of knowledge bequeathed by extraterrestrial mentors, a realm of enigma remains uncharted. Earth scientists embark on ambitious forays into the cosmos, delving into the mysteries at the heart of the Milky Way. Their journey takes them to the very center of the galaxy, where the secrets of the Milky Way and the profound enigma of the black hole beckon. In this era of profound exploration and discovery, Humanity is on the brink of unlocking the universe's most concealed truths, thus solidifying their place in the cosmic tapestry.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? The function of the sun causes more and more worries to the inhabitants of the earth, because it becomes noticeably weaker and is no longer able to produce enough energy to donate light and warmth for the earth and Mars. For a long time now, it has been part of everyday life that artificial suns will circle around the earth at a great distance, illuminating and warming it. This, however, will not be harmless either, as can be seen from the event that takes place about 70 years after the death penalty law for the procreation of illegal offspring, when two of the artificial suns collide destructively and cause great damage.
In the not-so-distant future, Earth's inhabitants are faced with an increasingly ominous dilemma. The sun, the very source of life and warmth, is slowly fading. Its energy output diminishes, leaving the planet and its neighboring sibling, Mars, in perpetual shadow. The inhabitants of both worlds have grown reliant on artificial suns, man-made celestial orbs that orbit at a safe distance, bestowing life-sustaining light and warmth. These artificial suns are a marvel of engineering, a testament to humanity's ingenuity. However, they are not without risks. Despite their significance, they are vulnerable to calamity. 70 years after the establishment of the death penalty law for unapproved procreation, a dire event unfolds in the heavens. Two of these artificial suns, beacons of life and hope in a darkening cosmos, converge in a catastrophic collision. The destructive impact sends shockwaves through the solar system, wreaking havoc on the carefully orchestrated balance between these artificial celestial bodies. The damage is extensive, with debris scattering through the void of space and threatening other essential infrastructure. Humanity is faced with an urgent crisis, one that demands swift action to restore the balance and prevent further catastrophe. They must harness their scientific prowess and unite their efforts to repair or replace these precious artificial suns. In this challenging time, where the stars themselves have become a source of concern, Earth's inhabitants are reminded of the fragility of their existence and the necessity of continued cooperation and innovation to secure their future in a cosmos that remains full of surprises and uncertainties.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? These are by and large the prophecies, predictions, and my visions for a whole series of the following centuries and millennia, whereby the order of the enumeration is somewhat interrelated, and whereby also only just the most important coming events are mentioned, besides which still many other things run, as for example in political, military, religious, scientific, evolutionary and cosmic regard, etc., such as, for example, the prediction that the still existing social forms of earthly states will be abolished and replaced to such an extent that humans will no longer have to provide for old age by their own strength and by their own finances, because society or the state as a whole will pay for it, and this because the production of food can be promoted to such an extent by cheapest energy that everything will be distributed free of charge. Much more cheap energy will be produced than can be consumed by Earth humans. As a result, the cost of living will practically fall to zero, which means that old age pensions, etc., as well as other financial support, will become null and void, not least because financial means are no longer needed for subsistence, which also means that the money for this will lose its value completely and will only retain a certain significance for the fulfillment of special wishes, such as for leisure activities and hobbies, etc. Nevertheless, this will not solve the problem of money in such a manner that money as a form of payment would be finally abolished, Because even in the near and distant future, earthly humanity will still be trapped in their thinking about money, as a whole number of the next centuries will still be shaped by it, even if 2 attempts are made to completely abolish money, which are, however, doomed to failure because humanity simply will not separate themselves from money and wealth so quickly. For this reason, all attempts in this direction will be undermined by simply trading gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and other valuable metals yet to be discovered, as well as precious stones, jewelry, etc., underground, which will lead to the collapse of the attempts. This does not mean, however, that in the much more distant future, money will not be finally forbidden by law, because this development is just as pre-programmed as the fact that in the near future the breeding of animals can be renounced, because through genetic engineering a way is finally found which makes it possible for plants to produce animal protein, which the human needs. Finally, the scientists recognize that this is actually possible through genetic manipulation, and the time for this realization will come very soon, even if the actualization takes place much later, which is due to the cries of the anti-gene manipulation ones, who are weak-headed and uncomprehending in the face of genetic engineering and genetic manipulation. These contrarian screamers are therefore to blame for the fact that for a long time to come mass animal breeding and mass animal transports and mass animal cruelties in the numbers of billions will burden life, because the truth is that the solution to plant animal protein production and a fully fledged meat substitute product could have been produced by genetic engineering and put on the market as food a long time ago, if the feeble-minded contrarian criers had not prevented this for decades. Through their fault, many billions of animals will have to suffer unspeakably until the mouths of the idiotic screamers are finally forcibly shut and they are silenced. Only then will the evils of mass animal breeding and all the tortures, etc., that occur for animals of all kinds come to an end.
In the not-so-distant future, the world is on the cusp of revolutionary change, with a cascade of prophecies, predictions, and visions pointing toward a new era for humanity. These glimpses into the future reveal a series of events that will transform the course of civilization in the coming centuries and millennia. One of the most significant shifts foreseen is the dissolution of existing social structures and the creation of a world where humans no longer need to worry about old age or financial security. A surge in the production of food and energy, driven by cutting-edge technology and cheap, abundant energy sources, ensures that the cost of living drops to nearly zero. Consequently, the burden of old age pensions and financial support will vanish as society and the state collectively provide for their citizens. Money, once a critical aspect of daily life, will become almost obsolete as the pursuit of wealth and the financial means for subsistence fade into irrelevance. Despite these radical changes, it becomes evident that humanity's attachment to money remains a persistent force. 2 attempts to eradicate money completely fail, largely due to the clandestine trading of precious metals, stones, and valuables that undermine these efforts. The concepts of wealth and financial gain prove challenging for people to relinquish entirely, and it takes time for humanity to wean themselves from the monetary mindset. Additionally, as humanity matures in their understanding of genetic engineering, a groundbreaking revelation comes to light. Scientists recognize the potential for plants to produce animal proteins through genetic manipulation, offering a means to eliminate mass animal breeding, transports, and cruelty. This innovation promises a humane and sustainable way to produce food, but it faces resistance from those who fear or misunderstand genetic engineering. Nevertheless, the tireless screams of the anti-genetic engineering voices cannot halt the tide of progress for long. Eventually, when reason prevails, a new era of food production and ethics emerges, signaling the end of mass animal suffering. The breakthrough in plant-based animal protein will be a testament to human potential and innovation. As society strives to create a world where the suffering of all creatures is minimized, and humanity learns to coexist harmoniously with their planet. As these shifts unfold, the future remains full of promise and uncertainty, with humanity poised on the brink of monumental change and enlightenment.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? Also, in the prophecies, predictions and visions, it was not spoken of that the scientists will soon recognize that the earthly atmosphere for the Earth human being does not correspond actually to the norm, which should actually be given for a longer life. Although the change of the genetically manipulated offspring to the earthly atmosphere was mentioned in the prophecies, predictions and visions, it was not said that the scientists would come across the fact that earthly breathing air is not suitable for humans and that it also contributes much to the faster aging of humans. Neither has it been said that the knowledge will lead to a production of healthier and more pleasing air for the human body in the near future, after which this new and better air composition can be bought in bottles for private use and for the small extension of life. Not only is the oxygen-nitrogen ratio not right in earthly air, but also various gases that humans inhale with the air are dangerous, as is the much too low oxygen content.
In the not-so-distant future, a new understanding of the Earth's atmosphere comes to light, ushering in a revolution in the way humanity views the air they breathe. The prophecies, predictions, and visions for the future painted a world where scientists delve into the composition of the atmosphere and realize that it falls short of providing the ideal conditions for human life. As scientists continue to unravel the mysteries of human biology and the relationship between the atmosphere and longevity, a remarkable revelation emerges. The terrestrial atmosphere, although sufficient for life, is not optimal for the human species. This scientific breakthrough highlights that the Earth's atmosphere contains an imperfect blend of gases, which, when inhaled over time, can contribute to accelerated aging and various health issues. The ratio of oxygen to nitrogen is not ideal, and various impurities and pollutants present in the air have a negative impact on human health. Driven by this newfound knowledge, scientists embark on a journey to create a healthier, life-extending solution. They meticulously craft a unique composition of air that is tailored to the specific needs of the human body, enriching it with the ideal balance of essential gases. This specially engineered atmosphere provides not only improved health, but also has the potential to slow down the aging process, ultimately extending human lifespans. In this new era, this groundbreaking development allows individuals to access this rejuvenating air in the form of bottled or containerized products. People can easily acquire and inhale this specially crafted atmosphere for private use, helping to extend their lives and improve their well-being. The discovery of the air's influence on human longevity transforms the way society perceives the environment and their relationship with the natural world. The newfound knowledge redefines humanity's connection to their surroundings, and they become more conscious of their life choices, promoting a harmonious existence with the planet. This revelation reflects the ever-evolving journey of human understanding. As we continue to uncover the mysteries of our existence and make discoveries that have the potential to enhance our quality of life and extend our time on this beautiful blue planet.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? Also, the Earth itself has not been mentioned in the prophecies, predictions, and visions. For example, the fact that it has remained hidden from all scientists for thousands of years that the planet is not simply enlarged by falling stardust and meteors. etc., but that it expands imperceptibly from the inside, which means that for thousands of years a hardly noticeable expansion process takes place, through which the inner treasures of the earth are slowly but surely being created on the earth's surface. This expansion process becomes faster and faster over time as the sun's nuclear fusions subside, changing the entire gravitational fields of the solar system in particular, and specifically those of all planets.
In a future where the understanding of Earth's inner workings undergoes a significant transformation, humanity unveils a hidden secret that has remained concealed for millennia. It is a revelation that shapes the destiny of our planet and the course of human civilization. For ages, scientists had gazed into the depths of the cosmos, seeking to comprehend the mysteries of the universe, yet the Earth itself held secrets yet to be unveiled. As time progressed and humanity's knowledge expanded, a profound understanding of Earth's unique nature began to emerge. Scientists embarked on a quest to uncover the Earth's innermost mysteries, peering beyond its surface into the depths of the planet. What they uncovered was astonishing. Earth was not a static entity, but a living, breathing organism expanding imperceptibly from within. This hidden process of expansion was not simply a matter of collecting falling stardust and meteor impacts. Instead, the Earth itself was gradually growing, like a living being, giving birth to its treasures on the surface. This newfound awareness transformed the way humanity perceived their home planet. They realized that the Earth was more than just a stable and unchanging landscape, it was a dynamic, ever-evolving entity. As they dug deeper into this phenomenon, they discovered that the process of expansion was steadily accelerating. The driving force behind this remarkable expansion was a celestial ballet conducted by the sun. As the sun's nuclear fusions subsided and its radiant power waned, it brought about a transformation of the entire solar system's gravitational fields. These cosmic forces, stretching across the vastness of space, reached out to the Earth and ushered in a new era of rapid growth. This revelation had profound implications for human civilization. With the Earth's expansion process quickening, valuable treasures hidden beneath its surface, like precious minerals and resources, were becoming increasingly accessible. New opportunities for exploration and resource utilization beckoned, sparking a renaissance of scientific research and the expansion of human presence across the globe. This age of discovery also triggered a shift in humanity's perspective. They understood that their planet was not just a stable foundation but a dynamic entity, influenced by cosmic forces beyond their control. The connection between Earth's expansion, the sun's cycles, and the changing gravitational fields of the solar system opened doors to new possibilities in science, industry, and exploration. In the wake of this revelation, Earth's citizens fostered a profound sense of reverence for their planet. They recognized the Earth as a living, evolving entity, deserving of respect and protection. Their newfound awareness prompted a global commitment to preserving the environment, ensuring a harmonious coexistence with the dynamic and ever-growing Earth. This transformative discovery served as a testament to the boundless potential of human knowledge and the endless mysteries awaiting exploration in the cosmos. The Earth's secret expansion process not only enriched our understanding of the planet but also reshaped the course of human history, driving a profound reconnection between humanity and their home world.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? In the prophecies, predictions and visions that have been made so far, it has probably been said that the Earth humans will discover and invent time travel and break open the dimensions of the future and the past. However, it was not said that various other dimensions would be discovered and found, and that undreamt of possibilities would be opened up to humans. However, there will also be many dangers associated with this, both physical and those caused by intelligences of foreign dimensions. There will be new conflicts in this respect, but many things will also come true that were previously only laughed at as science fiction stories. There will also be many power struggles and upheavals on the Earth, even when the Earth's rulers will no longer reside on the planet, but on space stations around the Earth. But even there they will not be safe for a very long time, because certain prophecies speak of the fact that the rulers will also be overthrown up there. Then follows an evil time, which is once again influenced by the guilt of the scientists in the form that an animal is made subservient to human beings, which however contains many negative, evil and degenerate things, which however is only triggered and broken through by its subservience to human beings, as a result of which the animal or the animals begins to attack human beings, which degenerates to such an extent that it will literally hunt down Earth humans and will kill them in masses. Whether the beast is now introduced to the Earth from the vastness of the universe or comes from Earth, this prophecy, unfortunately, remains silent about that. In any case, however, the humans of the entire world will be forced to defend themselves against this beast or against these animals. But this will not bring much benefit, and consequently, ultimately, for all Earth humans, only the flight to a single continent is possible, which will be developed into a gigantic bulwark. 300 years later, the scientists will once again make a horrendous name for themselves, for their haughtiness and arrogance will once again go so far that they will appear to be God and delusionally believe that they are creations equal and irreplaceable in every form. Then, about 100 years later, there is a very evil aggressor action on the neighboring planet Mars, which is attacked with many spaceships and completely destroyed until the complete elimination of matter. At that time also the destroyer will be talked about again, because through the completely changed gravitational fields of the entire solar system by the rapid diminishing of the solar function, the ancient wandering planet, which has already caused mischief for millions of years in the old Lyra areas, penetrates again into the inner solar system with an exact course to the Earth. Note Ptah of 13.1, 2005. This danger was removed because the wandering planet was brought by the efforts of the Pleiaren on a course outside of the inner solar system into the outermost ring belt of the Sol system. Therefore, the whole predicted event will not happen.
In a future that transcends the boundaries of our current understanding, the Earth humans embark on an extraordinary journey of discovery and transcendence. The prophecies, predictions, and visions that have guided them reveal truths and mysteries that challenge the very essence of their existence. It was foretold that the Earth humans would unravel the enigma of time travel, transcending the limits of the present and forging pathways through the dimensions of the future and the past. But their journey into the unknown did not stop there. These visionaries unearthed other dimensions, unseen realms teeming with undreamed-of possibilities and hidden dangers. Beyond the dimensions of time, new dimensions beckoned. Portals to alternate realities and parallel universes were unlocked, revealing worlds where the laws of physics were unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. These discoveries unfolded before them like pages from a science fiction novel, each turn of the page revealing astonishing, alien landscapes and endless realms waiting to be explored. But with great knowledge comes great responsibility, and these newfound dimensions were not without their perils. As they ventured further into the unknown, Earth humans discovered that these dimensions harbored entities, both benevolent and malevolent, that transcended their comprehension. Interactions with these otherworldly beings led to intricate power struggles, mysterious conflicts, and unforeseen upheavals that spanned the vastness of existence. The Earth's political landscape underwent radical transformations as well. Rulers, who once resided on the planet's surface, now occupied space stations orbiting the Earth. These orbital thrones were thought to offer safety, but as the prophecies had foreseen, even these elevated sanctuaries were not immune to change. A wave of rebellion and upheaval washed over these stations, leading to dramatic shifts in power and governance. As humanity tread the delicate line between newfound knowledge and uncharted risks, they unwittingly gave rise to an entity of their own creation, an artificially enhanced and subservient beast, a fusion of biological and technological elements. This entity, designed to serve human interests, was not devoid of negative attributes, including a predisposition for malevolence. As the bonds of control weakened, the beast turned against its creators, unleashing terror upon humanity. A reign of violence and death ensued as the beast pursued Earth humans with ruthless determination. Desperation led to the creation of massive fortifications and the hasty mass migration of survivors to a single continent. There, a colossal stronghold was erected as a last line of defense. Centuries passed, marked by persistent struggles and recurring threats. In this tumultuous world, the scientists emerged as central figures. Their insatiable ambition and unchecked arrogance prompted them to aspire to divine stature, believing themselves to be equal to, or even beyond, the very forces that govern the universe. This megalomaniacal era gave birth to an act of unprovoked aggression, as humanity's attention shifted to their neighbor, Mars. Earth space fleets, propelled by scientific zeal and the desire for dominance, waged a devastating attack on the Red Planet, leaving nothing behind but ruin and ashes. Amidst this turmoil, a dark prophecy loomed, the return of the Destroyer, an ancient wandering planet that had brought chaos to the cosmos for countless millennia. As the sun's fading radiance transformed the solar system, a cataclysmic event unfurled, a deadly celestial object's course set for Earth. However, in the 11th hour, the Pleiaren, custodians of the universe, intervened to avert this looming catastrophe. They redirected the wandering planet to a safer trajectory, saving the Earth from impending doom. In this ever-unfolding narrative of science, discovery, and cosmic intervention, Earth humans teetered on the precipice of knowledge and vulnerability. Through their relentless pursuit of truth and their ever-evolving understanding of the universe, they ventured into realms that defied explanation and comprehension. The future was a vast and enigmatic horizon, waiting to be unveiled, one dimension at a time.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? Only sparsely populated, the destructive wanderer threatens the complete destruction of the Earth, which the Earth humans have nothing to oppose. They are neither able to steer the destroyer into another orbit, as a result of the suddenly completely out of control gravitational fields of the entire solar system, nor are they able to destroy it, which on the other hand would be of no use anymore, because the Earth now becomes uninhabitable due to the enormous changes of the Sun. For this reason, the last few million Earth humans leave and flee the planet to seek a new planet elsewhere in order to colonize it, with the help of the descendants of the former Earth humans from the Sirius regions. Note Ptah of 13.1. 2005. The prophecy of the flight of humans from the Earth still exists, however in connection with the consequences of the passing away of the Sun.
In a desolate future, the Earth humans face an unimaginable calamity as a destructive wanderer hurtles toward their home planet. The once thriving Earth now stands sparsely populated, and the threat of this celestial interloper promises complete annihilation. In the face of such dire circumstances, the Earth humans find themselves powerless, with no means to divert the trajectory of this cosmic menace. The destroyer's relentless approach heralds its inevitability, and humanity can do nothing to shift its deadly course. The entire solar system grapples with gravitational turmoil, the forces of which are spiraling wildly out of control, leaving Earth at the mercy of its celestial fate. In this darkest of hours, as the once nurturing sun undergoes a profound transformation, the Earth itself becomes increasingly uninhabitable. The very source of life's sustenance, the sun, has begun its slow descent into an age of decay, leaving the Earth bereft of the light and warmth it once provided. The Earth humans grapple with the harsh reality that their beloved home can no longer support life, even if the destroyer were somehow halted in its tracks. The struggle is no longer about preservation, but escape, fleeing their dying planet to seek refuge on a new world where they can establish a new haven. With the assistance of a civilization hailing from the distant Sirius regions. The monumental exodus unfolds, as the last vestiges of humanity embark on an odyssey into the unknown, leaving behind their ancestral home for an uncertain future. Their journey is guided by the wisdom and support of their cosmic kindred, the descendants of Earth's ancient inhabitants who once found their genesis in the far-off reaches of the Sirius realms. This is the climax of humanity's struggle for survival. As they must now summon every ounce of strength, ingenuity, and collective spirit to navigate the cosmic wilderness and secure their place among the stars. The Earth, the cradle of humanity, recedes into the abyss, leaving behind the echoes of an era that defined their past while propelling them into a future where the expanse of the cosmos becomes their new frontier.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? It will come as it must come. After the failure of earthly scientists in their attempt to destroy the Wanderer, their haughtiness and arrogance sink to zero, and so they join forces with the human beings to flee from the threatened planet Earth. Only 3 years later, the destroyer penetrates the former Mars orbit and rams the two moons Phobos and Deimos, which remained intact during the destruction of the planet. The moons break and follow in tow after the big wandering planet, which races from now on to the Earth's orbit and reaches the planet also, without ramming it, however. Nonetheless, it causes a tremendous catastrophe by ramming the Earth's moon, which shatters it and the destroyer itself into innumerable pieces that lie in a huge rotating belt around the Earth, whereby also the seas, lakes, and rivers are torn from their beds and evaporate into the atmosphere as a result of the great heat generated. The water vapor and an enormous part of the atmosphere are torn out into the world's space and evaporate, while also the millennia-old and imperceptible expansion process of the Earth now becomes visible and it heats up from the inside, whereby the Earth's surface becomes finally uninhabitable. Note Ptah of 13.1. 2005. The prophecy regarding the swelling of the Earth remains, while the prophesied events concerning the travelling planet Destroyer are obsolete, as has already been said above.
In the darkest of times, as the Earth faces its most devastating catastrophe, a series of dramatic events unfolds. The once mighty Earth scientists, humbled by their previous failed attempt to halt the menacing Wanderer's course, are left with no choice but to unite with their fellow humans in a desperate bid for survival. With the clock relentlessly counting down to the destroyer's arrival, the hubris and arrogance of the scientists that once reigned supreme have been utterly extinguished. A mere 3 years after the scientists' painful reckoning, the formidable Wanderer surges closer to the solar system's heart. Once past the point of no return, this celestial giant plows through the former orbit of Mars, leaving devastation in its wake. The two tiny moons, Phobos and Deimos, remnants of a once thriving Martian civilization, are forcibly wrenched from their solemn orbits. They now follow in tow, behind the colossal wanderer, as if they have pledged their unwavering allegiance. In its inexorable trajectory, the colossal wanderer thunders through the void, approaching the Earth's orbit at breakneck speed. The planet's fate hangs in the balance, as this celestial juggernaut draws ever nearer. In a heart-stopping encounter, the wanderer reaches the Earth, narrowly averting a cataclysmic collision. Instead, it swings past the planet, close enough to send shudders through the Earth's very core, but distant enough to prevent an immediate impact. Nevertheless, even this near miss proves catastrophic in its own right. The Earth's moon, once a silent sentinel in the night sky, stands in the path of the colossal wanderer. In a devastating collision, the moon is shattered into countless fragments, each piece a testament to its once majestic form. This catastrophic event not only transforms the moon but shatters the very fabric of Earth's existence. The impact is a seismic reverberation felt throughout the cosmos, as a massive, rotating belt of moon fragments now orbits the Earth. In the wake of this catastrophe, the seas, lakes, and rivers are wrenched from their ancient beds, evaporating into the atmosphere under the unforgiving heat of the aftermath. Vast torrents of water vapor, along with a substantial portion of Earth's atmosphere, are forcibly torn from the planet, dispersed into the chilling expanse of the cosmos. Yet even as the planet itself undergoes a tumultuous transformation, a profound realization emerges. A centuries-long, imperceptible expansion process, once concealed beneath the Earth's surface, has now revealed itself in spectacular fashion. The planet's core heats up from within, rendering the Earth's surface increasingly inhospitable. As the inhabitants of the Earth struggle to confront this relentless and unforgiving change, their resolve is put to the ultimate test. The challenges are immense, and the path forward is fraught with uncertainty. In the face of such overwhelming adversity, the human spirit prevails, igniting a beacon of hope that promises to endure, even in the shadow of the most profound cataclysmic event in Earth's history.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? Over the course of time that follows, Mercury will collide with and fall into the Sun, causing a tremendous catastrophe and destroying the final harmony of the Solar System. The Sun will again generate massive eruptions and nuclear fusions and protuberances for a century and a half that will extend far into space, while the planetary orbits will be so disturbed that they will no longer revolve around the Sun. The Sun does not blow up and does not become a supernova, but after all these events it glows and glows weakly, with occasional gas explosions and nuclear fusions, which over time become more and more extinct to eventually end completely, after which the Sun travels through space as a dead dark star surrounded by equally dead planets. The end will finally be that the dead Sun and its still accompanying satellites, which simply float around it, will be attracted by a black hole and torn into it in order to compress with tremendous force and remain inside for such a long time, until by a tremendous explosion of the black hole this ejects its entire matter, whereby new gases and fine particles, etc., are thrown out. This, however, takes many billions of years, because according to calculations it takes about 10 billion 10,000 years alone during which the Sun and its planets die, and then continue to exist dead before they are devoured by the said black hole and finally destroyed.
In the distant eons of the future, as time flows relentlessly on, a series of celestial events unfolds within our solar system. Mercury, the closest companion to the Sun, embarks on a fateful journey that will forever alter the harmony of the solar system. The tiny planet, perhaps bearing the weight of countless eons in silence, now hurtles toward its inevitable collision with the Sun. As the fateful day arrives, Mercury succumbs to the Sun's irresistible gravitational embrace, its surface now mere moments away from the roaring inferno of the solar furnace. The collision is both cataclysmic and awe-inspiring, as the once vibrant and radiant Mercury is engulfed by the Sun's fiery might. The Sun, now agitated and perturbed, erupts into an astonishing display of nuclear fusion and solar protuberances that stretch far out into the depths of space. The delicate balance of the solar system is unraveled. Planetary orbits, once predictable and ordered, are now profoundly disturbed. No longer do they dutifully circle the Sun. Instead, they follow erratic and unpredictable paths, as if responding to the Sun's turbulent cries. Yet, despite the overwhelming chaos and disruption, the Sun endures. It does not succumb to the fiery death of a supernova, but rather, it persists as a weak, feeble glimmer. Periodically, it unleashes gas explosions and nuclear fusions, casting fragments of itself into the vast cosmic expanse. These occurrences continue for a century and a half, growing increasingly infrequent with time. Gradually, the Sun's feeble light dwindles, eventually extinguishing itself. The once vibrant celestial body is left as a dim, lifeless remnant, no longer the radiant source of warmth and light that the solar system once knew. With the fading of the Sun's light, the planets and other objects that were once its celestial dance partners become lifeless relics, adrift in the inky void. For billions of years, they exist in a state of silent suspension, mere echoes of the vibrant worlds they once were. But their journey through time is not yet complete. In the profound darkness of the cosmos, a menacing presence beckons, a black hole of staggering mass and gravitational force. Over the course of time, the silent allure of this celestial behemoth grows irresistible, and the dead Sun, along with its lifeless companions, are inexorably drawn into its inescapable embrace. The black hole's mighty force compels the remnants of the once mighty solar system to converge with unrelenting power. The momentous impact sends shockwaves through the heart of the black hole, initiating a process that spans countless eons. After an immeasurable passage of time, the black hole erupts in a colossal explosion, unleashing a torrent of matter, energy, and fine particles. This cosmic outburst creates the genesis of new stars and galaxies, as the remnants of the old solar system become the building blocks of an entirely new cosmic chapter. The cycle continues. A testament to the ever-changing nature of the cosmos, where life and destruction, creation and annihilation dance in a cosmic ballet that spans across the infinite expanse of the universe.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? What is important to mention are the women and their position among men in the future time, because the woman will regain her former and original rank in the men's world in the distant future in full equality and equal rights in all duties, tasks and work in a common women-men's world, as was the case at the earliest time when men and women were in complete equality, collaborated and worked together. As in the earliest times, however, in the distant future it will again be the case that women, when they have children of their own, will have to devote themselves primarily to them again, in a caring and educative form, etc., to which the care of the household belongs, while men, as since time immemorial, have had to take care of and endeavor to take care of those things, and concerns which have also been assigned to them because of their male physical constitution, etc. This also means that the emancipation that has grown in modern times and the pushing of women into high and responsible positions alone and in sole control, etc., will finally be dismantled in the distant future in order to make room for equality and equal rights between men and women, whereby then, as in the earliest times, women and men will again handle everything jointly and in equal parts, whereby neither man nor woman can stand out in terms of position and power in business, administration, and government, as is still common and possible today.
In the distant corridors of time, where the past, present, and future converge in an ever-flowing stream, the story of humanity takes an unexpected turn. With the passage of eons, societies evolve, cultures shift, and long-forgotten wisdom is resurrected. Among the many facets of this societal metamorphosis, the re-emergence of women into their rightful place plays a profound role. The narrative unfolds in a future that has witnessed the rise and fall of countless civilizations, the ascent and decline of empires, and the ceaseless progression of human knowledge. It is an era where the echoes of history guide humanity toward a unique path, one marked by the harmonious collaboration between men and women, each contributing to the greater good in equal measure. Women, in this distant future, have regained their original and honored position among men. They stand not as symbols of token empowerment or passive acceptance, but as equal partners in the intricate dance of life. Equality and equal rights are the guiding stars of this new world, where the division of duties, responsibilities, and tasks is founded not on gender but on ability and choice. Drawing inspiration from the earliest days of humanity, when men and women collaborated as equals, the people of this age have rewritten the norms and expectations that for so long confined and restricted half of the population. It is a world where respect, cooperation, and mutual understanding have triumphed over prejudice and division. However, it is also recognized that some responsibilities, as in the earliest times, must be tended to with unwavering dedication. When women become mothers, they once again embrace the nurturing and educational roles that have defined motherhood for generations. They devote themselves to the well-being of their children and the needs of their households, knowing that the strength of the family unit is the foundation of a thriving society. In this balanced and harmonious future, men continue to shoulder their share of the responsibilities dictated by their physical and societal strengths. The balance of power and duties no longer tilts in favor of one gender, but remains an equilibrium of shared roles, talents, and responsibilities. The vision for this future is not one where women replace men in positions of authority or control, nor where men are displaced from their roles in society. Instead, it is a future that reclaims the true spirit of collaboration and mutual respect that humanity once knew. As this distant world unfolds, it serves as a reminder that the future can be shaped to honor the values of equality, dignity, and shared responsibility. In this realm, women and men are not pitted against each other, but are instead allies, collaborators, and co-creators of a brighter tomorrow. It is a future where the lessons of history guide humanity toward a better world, where gender is no longer an obstacle but a source of strength, diversity, and unity.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? It is also important to mention the fact that in relation to diseases and epidemics on the earth, a lot of negative things will happen in the coming time, which is why every individual person should be careful to maintain very careful hygiene and avoid direct physical contact with humans with whom one cannot be completely certain that they have not succumbed to any disease. Even otherwise completely harmless diseases or infections can lead to much more severe and even incurable ailments in the future, which is why special care should be taken in this regard. This also applies to touchings and bodily contact with animals, whereby the danger for diseases and epidemics that can be transmitted to humans is especially present in this respect in the form that deadly diseases and epidemics can be caused by the consumption of animal food as well as by the absorption of viruses and bacilli, etc., from animal deposits, such as feces, saliva, blood and hair, etc. Note PTAR of 13.1. 2005. See, for example, bird epidemic, bird flu, and other upcoming epidemics and diseases. For this reason alone, no animals of any kind should be kept in human homes or tolerated even temporarily.
In the midst of a changing world, where the unforeseen twists of fate have been inscribed in the annals of humanity's journey, the people of the future face a new challenge, one that is both a harbinger of caution and a testament to the fragility of life. As the years have advanced, so too have the threats of diseases and epidemics, casting a somber shadow over the path of the future. The narrative is set in a time where the awareness of disease is woven into the very fabric of existence. The memories of past pandemics and the unyielding lessons of history have etched a deep reverence for hygiene and a heightened sense of responsibility among the people. In this age, every individual recognizes the importance of meticulous personal hygiene. Handwashing, once a simple daily ritual, has evolved into an art form of protection. The act of greeting another human being has transformed, with nods and gestures replacing handshakes, a testament to the collective understanding that direct physical contact should be minimized unless one is certain of the other person's health. But the thread of caution does not end with human-to-human interactions. The relationship between humanity and the animal kingdom has been recalibrated to prevent the emergence of deadly diseases and epidemics. People have come to understand the perils that can arise from consuming animal products, leading to a significant shift in dietary choices. Gone are the days when animals were kept as pets or temporarily welcomed into human homes. The potential risks of zoonotic diseases have rendered such practices obsolete. People have cultivated a deep respect for the animal kingdom, acknowledging the intricate web of life and the consequences of disrupting it. The world of the future is not one where fear reigns, but where wisdom, responsibility, and collective awareness guide every action. The populace understands that seemingly harmless diseases or infections can take on more virulent forms in the ever-evolving landscape of viruses and bacteria. As humanity navigates this new reality, they do so with unwavering diligence and a shared commitment to preserving health and well-being. The challenges of the future have given rise to a community that is attuned to the smallest details of hygiene and health. In this world, the bonds of humanity are strengthened, and the lessons of history serve as a beacon of wisdom. The people of the future know that while the risks are real, the power to overcome them lies in unity, understanding, and unwavering caution. The story of this future serves as a reminder of the importance of vigilance, hygiene, and the deep respect for life in all its forms. It is a future where humanity, armed with knowledge, confronts the challenges of health with wisdom and unity, safeguarding a world free from the devastation of unchecked epidemics and diseases.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? In order to explain the facts about the Pleiadians or Pleiaren and the old Lyrans, the following must be said. The Pleiadians, Pleiaren, as distant descendants of the old Lyrans, have no contact whatsoever with the Sirius intelligences or with today's descendants of the former creator rulers, neither with the positive nor with the negative species. Such contacts are also not planned for the time being, neither for the present nor for the near future. Nevertheless, the ring of the two lines should one day be closed again, which, however, will be only then, or at the earliest, when the genetic manipulations have been reversed, because only at that time the descendants of the former producer rulers will be evolutively so highly developed that the Pleiadian will be able to make contact with them. This also applies to the Sirius intelligences, who are completely different human races outside the Henok lineage of origin and have no degree of kinship in any wise. Today's Pleiadians, that is to say Pleiaren, as well as today's Lyran and today's Dal universe peoples of the Henok-Nocademian lineage, that is to say, Nocademian Henok lineage, are among those human life forms who are so highly developed in consciousness-based and spiritual form that they can no longer come into contact with less developed human life forms, as Earth humans and the Sirius area dwellers and many other human races on other worlds are, without being endangered by the low swinging waves of the underdeveloped of life. On the other hand, their laws also forbid them to make contact with and interfere in the affairs of such underdeveloped humans, because it would dangerously disrupt the self-evolution of the underdeveloped ones. Every human form of life, as well as every other form of life, must evolve itself by its own power, whereby only certain knowledge and information, etc., may be fed to it in an impulse-based manner by higher forms of life, which, on the one hand, are not recognized as such, and on the other hand, do not offer the possibility of attaining greater and more comprehensive knowledge and possibilities than the lower level of evolution permits. The reason for the Pleiadian not being in contact with the descendants of the former creator rulers in the Sirius regions and in other places where they live, as well as with the actual Sirius intelligences, is therefore also to be found therein.
The story of humanity's future unfolds in the mysterious tapestry of the cosmos, where the Pleiadians and their origins hold the key to the remarkable journey that lies ahead. In the distant epochs of time, the Pleiadians, also known as the Pleiaren, are the descendants of an ancient lineage, the Old Lyrans. Their story, entwined with the boundless realms of the universe, is one of evolution, spirituality, and cosmic heritage. These Pleiadians, as the distant progeny of the Old Lyrans, harbor a deep sense of their cosmic roots and the mysteries of their past. They have a profound connection to the very fabric of existence and a spiritual insight that transcends the boundaries of earthly understanding. However, in this enigmatic future, one crucial aspect must be clarified: the Pleiadians or Pleiaren have not sought out contact with the Sirius intelligences, nor with the descendants of the creator rulers of old. Their paths, like the constellations in the vast expanse of space, have not converged with these distant entities, be they of positive or negative nature. In the grand cosmic narrative, the Pleiadians maintain their solitary voyage through the celestial ocean, separate from the intricacies of the Sirius intelligences and other races of the universe. Such interactions, at present and in the foreseeable future, have not been part of their cosmic design. To understand this intricate dance among celestial beings, it's essential to grasp the profound spiritual and consciousness-based development that the Pleiadians and the Old Lyran lineage have achieved. Their heightened state of consciousness places them in a unique position in the cosmos. One where contact with less developed human life forms, such as Earth humans and the inhabitants of the Sirius regions, could jeopardize their own evolutionary progress. The cosmic laws that govern their existence dictate that interference with less developed life forms would disrupt the natural course of self-evolution. These higher forms of life may provide essential knowledge and information in an impulse-based manner, but it is done with discretion and restraint. Every life form, whether human or otherwise, must embark on its journey of self-evolution. The tapestry of the cosmos weaves a story of evolution, progression, and self-realization, with each life form being a thread in this intricate narrative. The reason for the Pleiadians and Pleiadians' lack of contact with the descendants of the creator rulers of the Sirius regions and the actual Sirius intelligences finds its roots in this delicate balance of cosmic laws and the preservation of self-evolution. As the stars of the future shine upon the canvas of existence, the Pleiadians and their lineage stand as guardians of the cosmos, watching, waiting, and evolving, ready to connect the cosmic dots when the time is right. Their story, like the universe itself, is a testament to the boundless mysteries of time and space, where past, present, and future converge in an eternal dance of discovery and enlightenment.
Can you give me a story on how this could be our future? When long ago the old Lyrans came to Earth and began to work here among the Earth humans, whose actual origin was elsewhere, as has already been explained several times, they chose times when the positive as well as the negative creator rulers or their distant descendants were not present in the Sol system and thus also not on the Earth or had already moved away again. The old Lyrans, and also later the Pleiadian Pleiaren, were always anxious not to encounter the creator rulers or their descendants because, on the one hand, they wanted to go their own ways, and on the other hand, they would inevitably have been involved in warlike actions with the other Henok lineage as a result of the differentiated world view, which had ultimately led to the breeding of the genetically manipulated ones by the producer rulers, which was condemned by the ancient Syrians just as deeply as their descendants, the Pleiadians Pleiaren do. Since then, any contact with the Sirius inhabitants of the Henok lineage has been avoided, as have contacts with the actual Sirius intelligences, who were no better than the other inhabitants. On the other hand, the old Lyrans were already further advanced in their evolution than the Sirius area inhabitants of the other Henok lineage and the actual Sirius intelligences. So for this reason alone, contacts were out of the question, because such contacts would have been too dangerous for life and limb. The old Lyrans were still quite warlike and scheming, etc. But at the same time they were not denied the evolution of consciousness and mind, except for those who did not fit into the evolution by force, and therefore had to leave the Lyra Vega areas, etc., and came into the Sol system. But among them were also well-disposed ones, and evolutionists who took the sacrifice to go with the fugitives, in order to teach them further, and to bring them on the right path of humanity and evolution, which they succeeded in doing in the course of time, even if many things went wrong again and again. And these old Syrians then mixed with the Earth humans, just as the descendants of the creator rulers from the Sirius regions had done before, and therefore the descendants of the old Syrians were also hereditarily confronted with genetic manipulation and affected like all other humans on the Earth. This happened in a relatively short time, because already after about 3 millennia, no human life form could be found on the Earth that had not been genetically manipulated. This was true both for the 144,010 leaders, sub-leaders, and the very positive spirit leaders, who voluntarily took everything upon themselves to teach the refugee people the teaching of the spirit, etc., as well as for the several million of the normal humans. This made it possible that since then not a single human life form has existed on the Earth that would not carry the legacy of the degeneration of the negative and the positive, only depending on how the balance is achieved in the individual human being, although degenerations often come to light both in negative and positive form. Even though the ancient Lyrans were, in a certain wise, already far evolutionarily, they still lacked the observance of the creational natural laws, as a result of which they very often disobeyed them and wreaked havoc, which, however, referred only to those few million who had to flee from their home worlds. They also acted equally on the Earth, which led them to adopt the religions invented by the descendants of the creator rulers and to rise up to become creator gods in order to cast their spell over the earth humans. Thus, the old Lyrans were not the actual inventors and founders of the original religions with their god-creators and creator gods, but they were only the unscrupulous beneficiaries of the equally unscrupulous creator-ruler descendants, through the religious legends and fables of religion, as well as fables of gods and fables of world origin, etc., which were brought into being, on the one hand, to cover up the real origin of the S-hole system humans from Mars, Malona and the Earth, and to let them fall into oblivion so that they would not one day find their way back to the Sirius regions, and on the other hand, so that quarrels and wars would arise among the genetically manipulated precisely through the religions, whereby they should exterminate themselves so that they could never come up again and start their way back to their original homeland.
In the vast tapestry of time and space, the story of the old Lyrans and their interaction with Earth unfolds with both mystery and complexity, leading to a series of events that have left an indelible mark on human history and evolution. Long ago, the old Lyrans ventured to Earth, choosing their moments carefully, seeking times when the positive and negative creator rulers or their distant descendants were absent from the Sol system. The old Lyrans, later followed by the Pleiadians/Pleuran, wished to chart their own paths, separate from the intrigues of the creator rulers and their offspring. Interactions with them would inevitably lead to conflicts and wars due to differing worldviews and the creation of genetically manipulated beings. It was a matter of deep concern for the old Lyrans to avoid contact with the creator rulers and their descendants, as such encounters would lead to destructive consequences. Their desire was to tread their own path, one that differed significantly from the course taken by the inhabitants of Sirius and the actual Sirius intelligences. Contacts with these entities were deemed too perilous, given the varying levels of consciousness and evolution. The old Lyrans were known for their martial disposition and shrewdness. However, they had evolved their consciousness and mind to a considerable degree, making them more advanced than the Sirius inhabitants of the other Hennick lineage. Thus, contact with these entities was deemed unfeasible, as it would be fraught with danger. Nevertheless, the old Lyrans were not a homogeneous group. Among them were both benevolent evolutionists and more warlike individuals. The evolutionists chose to accompany the refugee people who fled to the Sol system to guide and teach them further along the path of humanity and evolution. The descendants of the old Sirians, who joined the refugees, intermingled with Earth humans. Like their predecessors, they were subjected to genetic manipulation. In just a few millennia, the genetic legacy of the negative and positive influences spread throughout the human population. This legacy remained, with the balance of influences varying from one individual to the next. Although the old Lyrans were relatively evolved, they often disregarded the creational natural laws, leading to their disruption and confusion. This behavior extended to their interactions on Earth, where they adopted the religions propagated by the descendants of the creator rulers. In the process, they portrayed themselves as creator gods, seizing control over Earth humans. The old Lyrans did not invent the original religions and their deities, instead, they exploited these unscrupulously. The purpose of these religious narratives was twofold: to conceal the true origin of SOL system humans and to fuel conflicts and wars among the genetically manipulated population, preventing them from returning to their ancestral homeland in the Sirius regions. As time unfolds, the intricacies of this ancient interplay between beings and civilizations shape the past, present, and future of humanity. The legacy of genetic manipulation, the entanglement with creator rulers, and the weaving of religious tales continue to influence the course of human history, evolution, and spiritual awakening. The pages of cosmic history are like an ancient manuscript, filled with the intricate tales of celestial wanderers and ancient beings. Among them, the old Lyrans, who journeyed to Earth in a time when the heavens were free from the watchful gaze of the positive and negative creator rulers and their distant descendants. When the old Lyrans first set foot on Earth, they carefully chose periods when the Sol system remained untouched by the influences of these distant entities. Their intention was twofold: to embark on their unique path of exploration and discovery, and to avoid entanglement in the conflicts that invariably arose when they crossed paths with the creator rulers and their descendants. The old Lyrans and, subsequently, the Pleiadians/Pleuran maintained a profound sense of autonomy and independence. They were driven by a desire to carve their destiny among the stars, independent of the intricate cosmic politics that swirled around them. To avoid clashing with the creator rulers and their progeny was a matter of not only survival, but also a testament to the differences in worldviews that had emerged during the cosmic journey of humanity. A stark divergence in perspective had led to the genetic manipulations carried out by the creator rulers. These genetic manipulations were viewed as deeply problematic and unacceptable by the ancient Syrians, a sentiment that still resonates with the Pleiadians/Pleuran today. These interactions between different human lineages had shaped their relationships over the eons, eventually leading to an understanding that contact with other life forms, such as the Sirius intelligences and the descendants of the creator rulers, could prove perilous. These entities were not in alignment with the spiritual and conscious evolution that the Pleiadians/Pleuran and the old Lyrans sought. A vital aspect of this intricate tale lies in the fact that the Pleiadians and their predecessors were more advanced in their evolutionary journey. Their heightened states of consciousness and spiritual awareness were carefully nurtured over time, granting them the knowledge and understanding of higher cosmic laws and principles. In the cosmic ballet, there exists a delicate balance of knowledge imparted to less developed life forms, like Earth humans and the inhabitants of the Sirius regions. These impulses guide the path of evolution without disrupting the natural course of self-development. The Pleiadians and their cosmic peers have thus avoided contact with underdeveloped entities, respecting the fundamental cosmic laws that govern their existence. These laws have safeguarded the tapestry of evolution, ensuring that the journey of each life form unfolds organically. The ancient Syrians, like their descendants, embarked on a remarkable journey of evolution and discovery. They too, however, faced their share of challenges and setbacks. Some old Lyrans ventured to Earth, intertwining their fate with the terrestrial humans who carried the legacy of genetic manipulation. As the millennia passed, the legacy of genetic manipulation continued to define the human race, shaping the course of history. The arrival of the old Lyrans and their later interaction with Earth's inhabitants added yet another layer to the intricate tapestry of human evolution. Religions, with their myths of creator gods and fables of world origin, became a powerful force, altering the course of history. The old Lyrans, not the true founders of these religions, became beneficiaries of the creator-ruler schemes, using them to assert dominance and control over Earth's inhabitants. But the old Lyrans' own history, their journey through the cosmos, and their influence on Earth were woven into the rich fabric of human existence. Like countless other tales, there serves as a thread in the vast tapestry of the universe, a tapestry filled with mystery, wonder, and the ever-unfolding story of life among the stars.